and welcome to Dave's Dugout, episode 20. Yes, 20 episodes already. This is a softball podcast, and I'm Dave Schimpf, and I'm in charge of this podcast. I'm affiliated with USA Softball as a commissioner in District 15. I used to be an umpire and an umpire in chief, but I'm not using this podcast as an affiliation for USA Softball because I'm not going to get involved in the possible trademark violations or anything like that. So just wanted to let you know. But I usually talk about USA softball, but we'll talk about NCAA, high school softball, which is going on right now, Federation softball, in other words, U-Trip, PFC, whatever we want to talk, PFG, I'm sorry. But anyway, whatever we want to talk about, we'll talk about, okay? But today we're going to talk about some items, okay? I also have a toll-free number. It's 833-7-DUGOUT, 833-7-DUGOUT if you want to call, chat about softball or any kind of rules question maybe I can solve for you. Feel free to call, okay? I also have a email address, which is daveumpire@aol.com. That's daveumpire, all one word, at aol.com. Okay? So if you want to email me about certain things involving softball, please do. Okay? I am very delighted that the water problem I had due to the high water rising across the road, which used to be Lake Tibbawasi, I call it, but now it's a field is starting to show up again. So the water's receding. I had about an inch and a half of water in the man cave here. Got that all taken care of, and boy, the floor is kind of nice and clean due to the water. So that was good after my wife helped mop everything up. So that was nice of her. And so we got that taken care of. So I'm in pretty good shape now. So I'm happy about that. Today, we've got a couple sad things I want to bring up. I'm not sure if I talked about Dallas Fisher last week. He passed away the Sunday prior. Dallas Fisher he was also a fast pitch pitcher, but he was mostly modified. He had kind of a herky-jerky little motion, but it was perfectly legal. He threw legal. He was a very nice gentleman and had no problem with Dallas when he pitched. And he pitched, I can't remember how many teams he pitched for, but I know he pitched for a couple. And so he was very nice man. So I was sad to see Dallas Fisher pass away. And just recently, I got word yesterday that this is sad indeed that Billy Cork, the coach and manager of Company C, the modified team we had here in Saginaw, he passed away yesterday. So that was the word I got. Again, I had no problem with Billy Cork. Billy Cork was a fine gentleman. He also helped me with his grounds crew when I took over the league. So I ran the league for, I do believe, 11 or 12 years down at Hoyt Park. And Billy Cork and a couple of his crewmates helped me with the grounds crew. Billy, I can't say it enough. He had a great team. Mostly black team, doesn't matter what color. I'm just bringing it up. Mostly black team, and he was able to win some state championships with that team. He also was able to win. I think he went to a couple national tournaments. Also, they gave him a chance to play in a couple national tournaments. He was also the coach of the Bridgeport high school baseball team. I knew that also. I'm not sure if he coached any other teams. I'm not really. He probably did, but I wanted to let everybody know about that. But sadly, he passed away yesterday. I don't know what from. I don't know what funeral home he's at. So when I get that information, maybe I'll pass it along on Thursday. But I'd like to have a moment of silence for Dallas Fisher and Billy Cork. Amen. So, with that being said, I wanted to bring up a couple things. Somebody brought it to my attention that the Stroh's beer team in 1968, and I'm going to bring that picture up because there's a thing on there. There's a picture of their team. I didn't know this, but they brought it to my attention, and as soon as I bring it up, I'm going to show it. Let's see if I can tilt it enough so we can. I think I'll leave it alone like this. There's the Stroh's beer team. Okay, I'm going to tilt my computer back so I don't get that reflection from the window. But there they are. And I'm going to read something about them. All right. So I thought this was interesting. This was, again, brought to my attention by a relative. It says it was the year of the Tiger, and Ernie Harwell is telling everyone to hang on to your Strohs. Here comes the ninth. And then it says, back then, the Detroit Brewery also supported softball teams around the state, and one of them was a little dynasty in Flint, the Stroh's fast pitch team, managed by Jimmy Doyle Sr. Now, I'm going to talk about Jimmy Doyle one of these days, and Jimmy Doyle Jr., but right now I brought that up. And starting three of his sons won its seventh straight first-class AA championship that year and went on to claim the Michigan Recreation and Parks Association state title. Much like the Tigers' 23 drought between the World Series, it was Flint's first state title since 1954. The Brewers, as they were nicknamed in the Flint Journal accounts, dominated league play with a 22-1 record and swept the state tournament in 3 games. Unaccounted for are numerous weekend tournaments the team traveled to or hosted to sharpen their skills. Pitching almost every game was Jim Doyle Jr., a 34-year-old Buick employee and the best fast pitch hurler in the area. Doyle had the biggest year of his career at that point, going 22-1 in only play and winning 2 of the 3 state tournament games. Doyle had been pitching in men's league since age 13. Think about that. Pitching in the men's league at age 13 and was clocked at over, they say over 100 miles an hour, but that can't be true. So those days they didn't have a gun. So they went by whatever they thought was the speed of the game. The fastball was his best pitch, said third baseman Mark Stevenson. By the time it got to you, it was going up over your head. It went right up at the right time, Doyle said. If it didn't, it went the other way. And league and state tournament play alone, Doyle had an 0.55 earned run average. How about that? And 11 shutouts. His 252 strikeouts in 152 innings left his defense with little things to do for activity. I was glad I was an infielder, said second baseman Bill Doyle, Jim's youngest brother. At least I got to throw the ball around the infield. But the defense was there when needed. Stevenson went on to 52 chances without an error at one stretch, despite playing it close to take away the bunt. So you remember the third baseman there come up close. Dave Bulliner was good enough at shortstop to move Bill Doyle out of a 15-year stint at that position, and Jim Hansek was one of the best first basemen around, according to Stevenson. Throwing to him, I didn't worry, said the third sacker. If I was in a dirt, he'd get it. If it was up over his head, he'd jump up and get it. Maybe that's why I got the fielding record I did. Jerry Peters caught Doyle's pitches, and Howard Burloff, Ron Hamilton, and Chuck Doyle were in the outfield. Uh, I can't read this one person's name, was a strong utility infielder. Most were good hitters, and Bill Doyle owning a batting title with 396 and 400 and 396 batting average. Stevenson, Burloff supplied some power. So I just wanted to bring that up about the about this team. Okay, pretty neat. I'm glad somebody sent me that. This is the stuff I'm looking for. Do you know anything like this? Send it to me. I have some records here I'm going to be going through again, but this is the kind of information that we need. Okay, to talk about. Today I'm going to talk about appeal plays. Federation appeal plays or USA softball appeal plays. Not going to get involved with NCAA. They have their own rule book, and I have no idea exactly where the appeal plays stand now in new rules because I haven't done college softball in probably about maybe 8-9 years. So, but I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to Federation and USA softball. I'm going to read what the book says about appeal plays. All right. Appeal play. A play or a rule violation on which an umpire may not make a decision until requested by the manager, coach, or player. Okay? The decision cannot be requested unless it's by a manager, coach, or player. And I'm bringing that up for a reason because we have live ball appeal and we have dead ball appeal. A few years back, Federation was able to make the umpire could make an appeal, a decision without being requested. If somebody missed a base, the umpire, if they saw it, made the call. That lasted about 2 years because they realized that was a bad move. Okay, it was a bad move to leaving that up to umpires to make that call. So now it's got to be requested by the manager, coach, or player. And there's two types of appeals. There's a live ball appeal and a dead ball appeal. A live ball appeal, if made by a player, it has to be it has to be really an appeal play. In other words, if a player left the base early because on a catch, and the player just steps on a base, that isn't really an appeal play. You have to step on the base and have known that you're making an appeal that the player left early. Okay? Just stepping on the base doesn't make it an appeal play. So remember that. Coach can make an appeal play, whether it be first base coach, third base coach, whatever. They can make an appeal. Or the coach can make an appeal. The coach or manager, as we'll say. All right? They can make the appeal. Remember, that's a live ball appeal. A live ball appeal is also a timing play. All right? A timing play. So let's say there's a catch in the outfield and the runner on third. We'll say the runner on first. Let's say we got runners on first and third. Make it interesting. So both players supposedly tag up. Okay? But the runner on first really didn't tag up. Runner on third did. Okay? So they make an appeal. And so you don't have to throw to a base to make an appeal. It can be verbal. So just say, we're appealing that the runner on first left early. So therefore, the umpire makes a call and he calls the runner out. Now, because it's a timing player, if that runner on third has already scored, that run counts if there's less than 2 outs. Okay? That run will count if there's less than 2 outs. Remember that. Now, I know it's quirky, and I know it's going to cause problems, and there's going to be an argument, but the best thing to do in that situation, whether it be 2-umpire system or a 3-umpire system, is to get together and find out if the runner scored. That is up to the home plate umpire to make that call. And the best way for a home plate umpire to make that call during probably right during the appeal play is to say, point at the plate and say, run scores, or point at the plate and say, run doesn't score if the runner didn't score while the appeal was being made. As soon as that appeal is being made, that's when the timing play ends, okay? Okay? So whatever happens at that time, that's when we decide whether or not that run scored or didn't score. Okay? So that's the timing play. That's why timing play is so important. It's why it's very important for umpires to know that when appeal is made, it's a timing play. Okay? Now I know NCAA has a little mechanic where they tap their wrist like this with 2 outs or whenever there's a situation for a timing play. We don't do that in USA softball. We don't have that mechanic, and neither does Federation. However, Federation umpires can basically, if they want to use that, there's nothing that says they can't. Okay? But in USA softball, we don't have that mechanic. All right? Just wanted to bring that to your attention. Had a quirky thing that happened a couple times. I remember. One, I was a plate umpire. No, I take that back. I was a base umpire. It was a different league director. I won't mention his name. Most of you know it at Hoyt Park, but I won't mention his name. But I had an appeal play at first base, and I did the mechanic correctly. And the director came down with his rule book. That's a real no-no, by the way. Don't bring a rule book on the field. I'm not saying you can't, but you're going to be subject to whatever that umpire feels is right. Okay? The director of the league came down with his rule book, and he says, Dave, here's what it says. And I said, won't say his name. I said, I took his rule book because he gave it to me, and I threw it up on the hill. And I said to him, and now you can follow it because you're out of here, out of the park. I was park director. I just threw the park director out of the park. Okay? Not going to bring her. First of all, he wasn't even involved in the game. Second of all, you're not going to bring that rule book down on me. And so that's what happened. So that's kind of a funny story. The other thing that happened, and it was the Swanson boys, Roger and Mark Swanson. Mark was his son. They were doing a game in Hoyt Park, and there was an appeal play at first base. Okay? Now, the appeal play, they awarded that runner third base because it was here's what happened. It was a dead ball appeal. They threw the ball to first base. The runner, the ball went wild, and it went out of play. Okay? Went out of play. Now, the runner at first, who's got a right now, got a right to go back and touch the bases. Runner went back, touched first base, and was awarded third base. The runner cut across the diamond to third base. Now, you remember one thing. On an appeal play, if you are awarding bases, the runner must run the bases properly. The runner was awarded third. 1 base plus 1, which is third. Okay? Everybody says, well, wait a minute. The runner was between first and second, so they should only got second base. No. The runner basically still owns first base, but they must tag first base. So once they tag first base, they're made a proper tag up, and now they go to third base. But they have to go to second base and then go to third base. Okay? Now, if by chance that runner between first and second had rounded second base, that makes it different. Okay? But they have to touch second base, returning back to first base. That's called a dead ball appeal. Okay? Dead ball appeals are different. They have to be made before the runners, before the fielders leave the field, and if it's 3 outs, and before the umpires leave the field. So let's say it's the last out of the game, and you wait too long and the umpires leave the field, uh, all bets are off. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. So there are different ways to have an appeal, but I just wanted to bring those to your attention because we are in the middle, almost, well, not middle in Michigan. We're only about 2 weeks into Federation ball. And speaking of that, I was going to go to a game with Bill Humphrey last Thursday, but I wasn't able to because of the water. So just letting you know, but we're intending on go to Swan Valley this Thursday. I do believe they're playing North Branch because I looked it up. We're going to go take in a game Thursday, Bill Humphrey and myself. And I'm bringing Bill Humphrey's name up because for a reason. This Thursday, Bill's going to be here. I'm going to do a live interview with Bill Humphrey, famous umpire from Midland. Okay? Was a Hall of Fame, National Hall of Fame umpire, traveled all over the world, and I do mean that. He traveled many, many places. He met many, many places as an umpire and also as a national staff member. Okay, so we're going to talk about some interesting subjects. Bill Humphrey is a friend of mine. I've been a friend of his for many years, and he also was an evaluator. So there's some quirky things. Things we're going to talk about, some funny stories, and some not funny stories, but they're all going to be interesting. So this Thursday, around I think I'm going to have it start around 2:45, but I'll put it on Facebook prior to that. But it'll be around 2:45. We'll start the session. All right. So tune it in. Be ready for that very interesting interview. So it'll be my first live interview on site. I had an interview with Gary Evans last Thursday concerning our award, but this will be different. So I want to bring that all up. That's all we're going to talk about today. Look for items to bring me. Anything you may have, funny stories or whatever, send them to me, okay? So everybody you think spring, again, take in some games. Take in some games. You got college games somewhere near your area, high school games. Enjoy them. Take them in. We'll see you.